Be prepared. Something is counting down, not in hours, not in days, but in energy. Before June 30th, a wave will pass through the Twin Flame Collective. And if you're tuned in, you can already feel it. Your sleep has changed. Your emotions rise without explanation. Your soul is whispering, "Get ready." This isn't just another phase, it's a karmic checkpoint, a realignment of timelines. In the last 5 days of this month, hold a frequency strong enough to flip your entire journey. You may feel the sudden urge to let go, or the undeniable pull to reach out. You may wake from dreams that feel more real than your waking life. You may feel them again, not in thought, but in sensation. Because something sacred is sinking behind the scenes. And if you miss this window, you might delay what your soul has been trying to call in for lifetimes. This is the moment when fate breathes through silence, when love rearranges what logic never could, when the version of you that's been waiting finally meets the version of you that's ready. Don't look away. The last 5 days before June 30th could change everything. It doesn't look like anything is changing, but you can feel it, can't you? A pressure building under the surface. A sense of urgency in your spirit that no one around you seems to notice. It's subtle, but it's loud. It's invisible, but it's shaking everything inside you. That's how portals work. Not through announcements or visible signs, but through inner shifts that only the awakened can feel. And the truth is, a countdown has begun. Not the kind that leads to a dramatic event, but the kind that collapses timelines. The kind that asks, are you aligned or distracted? Are you ready or repeating? These last 5 days before June 30th are not random, they are sacred, and they are already moving things behind the scenes in your twin flame journey. You may not see it yet, but things are already being rearranged. You might feel called to release something you thought you couldn't live without. You might find yourself revisiting old memories. Not to suffer, but to clear. You might feel them, your twin, more intensely now, as if they're closer in your field, even in silence. This is not nostalgia. This is frequency. This is your soul responding to a pull you didn't create, but agreed to. And that agreement? It's being activated now. Because certain things were always meant to realign in this specific window of time. And you're not just watching it happen, you are part of the energy causing it to unfold. Have you been hearing certain songs again? Feeling waves of emotion out of nowhere? Getting dreams that feel like conversations? That's not imagination. That's the echo of your contract starting to vibrate again. Because union doesn't begin when the message arrives. It begins when your body starts preparing for it. And that's what these final 5 days are about. Your intuition is sharper. Your sensitivity is heightened. And that's not a mistake. It's calibration. The universe is testing whether you'll honor your energy or fall back into old dynamics that no longer match your frequency. You're being asked to remain open, but not leaking. Receptive, but not waiting. Awake, but not anxious. Because the version of you that's aligned with union is not desperate for proof. She knows, she feels, she trusts the pulse more than the picture. You were never meant to chase someone into awakening. You were meant to embody the vibration that makes awakening inevitable. And now, as the clock moves toward June 30th, the veil between timelines is thinner than ever. You can shift something in days that used to take months. You can release in a breath what used to take lifetimes to unravel. But only if you stay present. Only if you stop looking outside for what's already moving inside. The countdown isn't about waiting for them. It's about choosing yourself at a frequency you've never held this consistently before. That's what unlocks union. That's what shifts the path. Not begging, not longing, but radiating. These next 5 days are not just leading you to the end of a month. They are leading you to the edge of your old self. And beyond that edge, everything changes. Why the Twin Flame Collective is being pulled into motion. There are moments in the spiritual journey that feel like stillness on the surface, but below, in the soul's dimension, a storm of rearrangement is taking place. And right now, the Twin Flame Collective isn't just waking up, it's being pulled into motion, but not by pressure, not by longing, by alignment. This shift didn't begin this week. It began long before you were born. It began in the stars, in the contracts written before your body had a name. And now, those codes are unlocking. That's why so many are feeling a magnetic restlessness they can't explain. Why certain people are returning in dreams, not to stay, but to close doors. Why your twin's energy suddenly feels louder, even without a word spoken. The collective field is being activated, not just for love, but for mission. Because when twin flames awaken, they don't just heal each other, they heal timelines, and the timelines are calling. These last 5 days before June 30th are like a breath being held across dimensions. You might feel it as anxiety, but it's actually a preparation, a signal that something is about to land. And for that to happen, everything that no longer belongs must rise. That's why you may feel waves of sadness that don't belong to you. That's why you may feel heavy for no reason. Because you're not just holding your own frequency, you're holding the echo of the entire soul contract. Yours, theirs, and everything in between. This is why the twin flame journey was never just romantic. It was always energetic. It was always about alignment before appearance. And now, the universe is syncing every divine pair through dreams, signs, resistance, silence, and longing to bring them back to the mirror of truth. Do you feel the shift in how you view them lately? Do you sense the old illusions burning away? You used to see them through the eyes of pain. Now you see them through the eyes of potential, not because they've changed, but because you have. And your change has triggered theirs, even if they haven't said a word. That's how motion begins. Not always through action, but through vibration. You have to understand, your elevation doesn't go unnoticed. Your detachment isn't empty. Your softness isn't weakness. Your boundaries aren't separation. They are sacred invitations. And when enough feminine energy reaches this level of inner alignment, the masculine cannot stay asleep. That is what's happening now. It's not loud, it's not public, but it's real. The pull is on both sides now. The mirror is clean, the path is open. So why does it still feel uncertain? Because your soul is moving faster than your mind can keep up with. And the mind wants to make sense of something that is not logical, but quantum. So don't waste these days trying to figure it out. Live them, feel them. Let the divine motion move through you. Let the grief be sacred. Let the longing become clarity. Let the silence become music. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are being summoned by a frequency that knows exactly where to take you and exactly when to deliver. what's yours. Stay in motion without rushing. Because the destination isn't about a person, it's a vibration. And that vibration, it's already moving toward you as fast as you are becoming it. You think something's wrong. You replay the last moment, the last word, the last breath you shared in energy, whether in presence or in thought, and wonder, what shifted? But the silence is not a rejection. The distance is not punishment. It's a language. And if you could decode what's truly happening now, you'd stop fearing the space and start revering it. Because in the twin flame journey, silence is never empty. It's an activation chamber. And distance is not disconnection. It's divine insulation for the soul to remember its light without interference, especially now. Because these last 5 days before June 30th carry a sacred fire, a recalibration so intense, it can only happen when the noise stops. And the ones who carry this frequency, you and the soul bound to you, are being placed in divine energetic solitude for a reason. Have you noticed the sudden silence from them, the pullback that doesn't make sense, the absence that cuts deeper than words ever could? That's not abandonment. It's an echo of the soul preparing for union. Because before they can return, they must face what's been avoided. And before you can receive them, you must meet the version of yourself that no longer needs their return to feel whole. This is what the universe orchestrates in these silences. Initiation on both sides. Right now, your twin may be facing the deepest layers of their identity, and it's overwhelming. Not because they don't feel the connection, but because they do, too much, too strongly, and they don't yet know how to hold it without burning themselves. They are likely silent because the feeling is too loud, not because they don't care, but because they can't explain. The divine masculine energy, when confronted with the mirror of truth, often retreats, not out of cruelty, out of confusion. And the feminine, trained by lifetimes of abandonment, feels this silence as confirmation of loss. But it's not. It's the soul pulling both of you inward to heal the parts that union would otherwise trigger to implode. So instead of chasing what went quiet, listen, not to the absence, but to what is present in the space. Have your dreams intensified? Have you felt them when waking, like a pressure in your heart or a heat behind your eyes? That's connection, not imagination. And that connection needs this space to evolve, to shed the karmic shells, to allow both energies to grow into something sacred, not codependent. Because if they returned now, without this silence, without this divine stretch of distance, they might repeat the past. And the past cannot come with you. This is what these days are doing. They are pulling apart what isn't real to magnify what always was. The silence is sacred alchemy. The distance is divine design. And you? You're being prepared to receive, not just reconnect. That's why your body feels heavier. That's why your intuition is louder, because something ancient is being remembered. And the only way to hear it is in stillness. This is not the end. It's the deep breath before the door opens. So stop asking why they're not reaching out. Start asking what this moment is trying to teach you. Because every ounce of pain you feel in the silence is the same energy being felt on their side, just translated differently. Your ache becomes their restlessness. your surrender becomes their awakening. And if you can hold this space without collapsing into the wound, you'll discover something sacred inside you. That the love was never missing, only maturing. And when it's ready, truly ready, it won't just come back, it will arrive. What your body is telling you about the soul contract. You've been listening with your heart. You've been searching with your mind, but have you stopped, really stopped, to ask what your body has been whispering to you all along? Because your body knows the truth, sometimes before your consciousness can even form a sentence. And especially now, in these last 5 days before June 30th, the body is no longer whispering. It's speaking loudly. That weight in your chest, that's not stress. That's the contract between you and your twin beginning to stir again. The sudden chills, not just temperature, but recognition of energy entering your field. The tightness in your stomach, the fluttering, the waves of exhaustion followed by lightning bursts of energy. These are not random. They are physical echoes of soul-level updates. Your nervous system isn't just responding to your environment. It's responding to the shift in your shared frequency. Because the contract between you and your twin isn't ink on paper. It's imprinted in your cellular memory. And every time the portal opens, every time the timeline nudges toward reunion, your body feels it before your eyes see it. Right now, your body is adjusting to hold a higher love. Not the kind that clings, the kind that contains, that knows, that receives. And for that, the body must clear what was stored during the waiting. That's why old memories may rise out of nowhere, with scent, sound, or even a location that suddenly brings tears. That's why you might feel ill for no reason, only to wake up lighter the next day. That's why your appetite, your sleep, your cycles are all shifting. You are not broken. You are becoming. Your physical form is shedding the vibrations of abandonment, rejection, fear, not because you did something wrong, but because your body is wise enough to make space for what's coming. Because union is not just emotional, it's somatic. It happens through the flesh, through presence, through sensation. And if your body still holds the trauma of separation, it cannot fully hold the joy of reunion. So these aches, these tears, these moments when you feel like your skin is too tight for your soul, they are sacred. They are release codes. They are how the body says, I'm ready to feel the real thing now. Have you felt your twin through your body? As pressure on your heart out of nowhere? As tingling in the hands or spine when you hear their name? As energy rushing through you when you're completely still? That's the soul contract vibrating inside your nervous system, not to haunt you, but to remind you, you're not imagining this. Your body is a witness, a container, a memory keeper of lifetimes of love that has always found its way back. And now, it's preparing again, but this time, not for more longing, for more truth. So listen. When you feel tired, rest. When you feel tears rising, let them fall. When you feel an urge to dance, cry, shake, scream, follow it. That is your body transmuting centuries of silence into seconds of sacred release. You are not the same version of yourself you were when this journey began. And your body knows. It's why your heart doesn't ache the same way. It's why your silence feels different. It's why your hands no longer reach for what doesn't reach back. because your body has been reprogrammed by love, and now it only vibrates to truth. This is not the time to numb. This is the time to notice. Because in these final days, before the next gate opens, your body isn't waiting for a sign. It is the sign. And the more you trust what it tells you, through chills, pulses, intuition, or sacred exhaustion, the faster the reunion comes. Because the contract is alive, and your body is already signing it again, with every breath you take in trust. How to align with the shift in the final 48 hours. You can feel it now, can't you? There's a tension in the air that isn't panic. It's potential. There's something whispering behind the veil of your day-to-day thoughts. Be still. Be open. Something is arriving. But not like a package, not like a person knocking on your door. It's subtler than that, and far more powerful. These final 48 hours before the gateway of June closes are not a time to chase, fix, or reach. They are a time to receive, refine, and resonate. Because alignment doesn't begin with action, it begins with allowing. Your union is not waiting for you to prove anything. It's waiting for you to match it. And matching this kind of energy, the one that exists in divine truth, not illusion, means you must clear every internal distortion that still tells you, I have to do more to deserve it. I'm running out of time. They'll only come back if I become someone else. No, you don't need to become someone else. You need to become fully you. The real alignment happens when you come home to your soul's original frequency, the one that existed before the heartbreak, before the silence, before the waiting. So how do you align in these final 48 hours? By softening, by trusting the subtle, by letting go of the version of you who still waits with clenched fists and a racing heart. This is not a deadline. This is a doorway. And if you want to walk through it, you have to set down the baggage. Start with your thoughts. Notice the loops, the questions that never bring answers, only anxiety. Notice the fantasies, not the sacred dreams, but the mind-made stories that still try to control how and when love should appear. Can you lay them down even for a moment? Because in their place, something sacred is trying to rise. A sense of peace you didn't have before. A knowing in your gut that no matter what they do or don't say, you are still on track. An urge to dance for no reason. To clean your space, to light a candle, to wear something beautiful even if no one sees you. That's alignment, when the inner world reflects the love you wish to receive, without demand, without fear. And in that vibration, your twin flame feels you, not through words, but through frequency. And whether they understand it or not, it pulls them. This is why so many feel triggered in the final hours. It's not resistance to you, it's resistance to their own readiness. And your steadiness, your softness, your energetic clarity helps them breathe through it. So do less, be more. If you feel called to journal, write the truth your soul wants to hear, not the story of lack. If you feel called to cry, let the tears cleanse the last layer of waiting. If you feel nothing at all, that's okay too. Sometimes alignment is silence, and silence is divine. Because you don't need to make anything happen now. You just need to stop standing in the way of what's already on its way. Breathe. These final 48 hours are sacred because they're raw. They show you what's still lingering and ask if you're willing to surrender it. Not because surrender is passive, but because it's powerful. To say, I trust what's meant for me will find me. I know the truth of our bond. I no longer chase what is already written. That is spiritual alignment. And in that space, you'll notice something. Your heart doesn't race anymore. It pulses, steady, sure, ready. That's how you know the shift has already happened within. And once the shift is internal, external reality has to follow. This isn't just another ending. These final hours, the ones you're standing inside now, they hold weight beyond the clock. They are not measured in minutes. They are measured in frequency. And what you choose to carry through them will ripple across lifetimes. Because this is not about June 30th. It's about the version of you that will rise after it. You are standing on the edge of a vibrational threshold, one you've felt coming for months, maybe years. A soul checkpoint, a cosmic mirror. And the energy around you is asking only one question. Are you ready to step into the timeline your soul wrote before your fear rewrote it? Because you've been in between for so long, between knowing and doubting, between feeling and questioning, between surrendering and gripping tightly to the edge of the past. But time has caught up. The universe isn't waiting anymore. The path is bending now toward truth, whether you feel ready or not. So listen, if your heart has been heavier lately, if your soul has gone quiet, if the silence around your twin flame feels louder than ever, this is not emptiness. It's the echo before arrival. You're not being forgotten. You're being rewritten. Your future timeline is calling you to unclench the final threads of pain, projection, fantasy, and fear. Because your next version can't rise in the same energy that kept you chasing ghosts. These last hours will ask you, can you stand still in your worth, even when nothing seems to move around you? Can you let love come without trying to define it first? Can you feel their presence even if their voice doesn't reach you yet? Because real love doesn't shout, it vibrates. And when you become the vibration of trust, everything responds, your twin flame included. The choice is not in their hands right now, it's in yours. You don't need to control the outcome, you just need to become the signal. And that signal is not loud, it's clear. So let this be your final message before the shift. You are not late, you are not alone, and you are not lost. You are aligning. Even when it feels like nothing's happening, everything is. Behind the veil, threads are being untangled. Truth is being revealed. Connections are being rebalanced. And your name is echoing through the soul of someone who hasn't stopped feeling you, not even once. So don't focus on what they do next. Focus on who you are now. Because when the clock strikes, when the calendar turns, when the final veil lifts, it's not just the world that changes, it's you. And once you shift, your entire reality does too. This isn't the end of a month. It's the birth of a new timeline, and you are the anchor of it. So light your candle, breathe with intention, walk like someone who already knows how the story ends, not in longing, but in return. Because when you vibrate with certainty, the universe has no choice but to match you. And love remembers the way back to a heart that stayed open, even in the dark, even in the silence. Even in the final hour, you've made it. Now choose your timeline, not with words, but with energy, because everything that's about to unfold was waiting for you to feel it first.